Hi there, so it's me again. It has been a while on YouTube. I just wanted to make a rather simple video to tell you that I've left London and I am back in Liverpool, well, near Liverpool. So I just wanted to let you know about this because obviously it's going to change my upcoming videos. So I also wanted to let you know how it went and why I've moved. So I'm going to try to make this story very short, but here it goes. So I wanted to leave London and I wanted to go to Glasgow, to Scotland. Because of the COVID, I wanted to do an online viewing, not in person, and to avoid the trip and stuff. And I found that in Scotland that's really hard to do. And so the more I looked at places to go to, the more I felt like I missed Liverpool, and I realized all the opportunities I had when I was in Liverpool, not only because it's a nice place to be in, but because from Liverpool I was able to visit a lot of places around, even go to Birmingham, to London, to Glasgow, to wherever. So I was like, what about I go back to Liverpool? So I sent some emails to like places to rent and stuff, but I was like, maybe it's not a good idea to try to find something during the COVID situation. So I was not necessarily expecting to find a place during the pandemic, but I actually found something. I was like, great, because if I can find something maybe before a second lockdown or something, that would be great. So I found this thing, I said okay with the landlord, everything was fine, and my parents were supposed to come to help me because we have a big vehicle. But they are in France, they are French like me. So on a certain day I signed, on the day after they took both tickets, and on that very evening the UK government said that they would impose a quarantine again for people coming from France. So it was not possible for them to come because they would have to quarantine for 2 weeks in London before coming to Liverpool. So I was like, okay, I'm doing it by bus. Basically, planes and trains are more expensive, and on planes I couldn't have like instruments and stuff, like they would be just completely destroyed. And trains are like fucking expensive. So buses. So like I think my most expensive return ticket was something around £40, and the less expensive I got was for £17 for a return ticket. So it's even less expensive than the boat tickets that my parents took, and they were able to get a refund. So all in all, that's the cheapest solution, but it took me a bloody month to do it, and 7 return tickets and 1 single ticket. Wait, 7? Yeah, 7 return tickets and 1 single ticket. So that was a lot of bus trips. So I didn't bother carrying my cameras on all trips because I had so many things to carry. So I just filmed the first trip, but like nearly all of them was the same. The route was not always the same and so on, but it was nearly all the same trips. So yeah, here's the first one. Ok, on n'y voit pas grand chose. On est le 17. Il est bientôt 6 heures. Et voilà, je vais faire rouler ça devant moi, ça sur le dos. Et donc ça y est, c'est le jour du déménagement. C'est le jour où j'ai mes clés. Et voilà, premier aller-retour. J'en ai 3 autres de prévus. Donc 4 en 2 semaines.
Emergency exits are located at both the front and rear. Additional emergency exits are also available at certain marked windows. These can be broken using the emergency hammers from
So that was on the 17th of August. Yeah, so that was on the 17th of August, and the day after, on the 18th, I just went to visit a little bit Crosby Park and the Crosby Lake, I think it is. And that's really a nice place. That's really nice that I can be like 5 minutes away from the beach. So that's really pleasant. Alors là, on est le 18 août. Donc je suis arrivée hier à Waterloo, donc près de Liverpool. Excusez-moi, je filme en même temps à la GoPro. Des beaux nuages, hein. Excuse-moi, j'essaie de filmer en même temps, tu vois. Hein? On entend les statues crier. Ah, c'est les gamins que t'entends. So now, why did I leave London? Because you're like, oh Chris, that's London, that's great and stuff. Yeah, no, it's not. It's really overrated. It's really overrated. So sorry about interrupting the video. It really looks like one of those Casey Neistat interruption video when he's editing, but that's actually how I got the idea. But anyway. Yes, so I'm about to explain why I left London, as I said. And it sounds like I really hate this city. I don't. That's why I came there in the first place. But that's just not a city that I want to live in, and I'm going to explain why after this. But from what I say after this, it sounds like I hate it, and I really don't. I think it's great, a lot of cultural stuff, all those great museums, those fancy shops in the center. Everything in the center is amazing. I think it's amazing as a tourist, but when you live there, you get a different perspective on it, which I had through living there for 2 years. I also really like the people of London because it's very multicultural, so I got to meet people coming from different nationalities with different experiences of life and stuff. So for me, that was a great thing about London, meeting all those different people and how diverse it is compared to maybe other regions of England that are not that multicultural. So yeah, that's what I like about London. I love this city, I just don't want to live in it, and I'm going to explain to you why. Here's why. So as I said already, when I was in Liverpool, it was great because of the sort of central location of Liverpool. Within the UK, you can go to Scotland, you can go to other places to the east, even though I still need to visit like Leeds and Newcastle. That's two cities I really want to visit. But yeah, you can go to Manchester, Birmingham, London. You're just like out there. And even within Liverpool, well, there is Liverpool, and then there is this like train line that you can go to the north, to Southport, Formby, wherever you want. You can go to Chester too, you can go to Wales. That's amazing. So the thing is, in London, you can't really do that, travel. Like every time you want to travel within the city, you need like 1 hour. And if you want to travel outside the city, that's even more problem because most of the time you will need to go to the center, so like 30 minutes, and then outside again, and you're not really in the center of the UK. So, but that's not even the reason why I left. The reason is basically life is so bloody expensive in there, especially rents. And I guess the reason I went there, and I guess the reason why most people go there, is that you're thinking opportunities, right? So many opportunities in terms of work, in terms of people that you can meet, because there are so many people, whether it's for work or like music, art, whatever. You're thinking, great, so many stuff happening, like so many people, so many creative people, musicians, artists, and places to visit, museum, gallery, places where you can play, where you can showcase your art, whatever. And I guess that it's true, but it's true if you have money, because you need to put a roof over your head and the rents are just fucking expensive. So like, if you don't care about living in a shitty place where you don't have even your own room, I guess that's fine. You can pay 1,000 and be able, as a 30 something adult, to share your room with another adult, if that's how you see your life. But it's just not for me. I mean, I guess that some people are just like happy with being 30 something, and as long as they can play their music, they are sharing their room with whoever and living in unsanitary conditions. But no, I guess at some point, I'm not 15 anymore. I guess at some point I just want to be able to live in a not even nice place, but just decent place with actual proper walls. So, like, to give you an idea, the place I was living in, so it was a shared house that I was sharing with 6 men. No, wait, 5 men, which is every woman's dream, isn't it? Um, Especially as the one directly next to me spent some months stalking me online, and he was emptying his pee bottle out of the window. It's a nice smell. So yeah, not great conditions. The walls were not walls. I mean the outside walls. It was just like the old windows with a plank of wood that was painted white so that it would look like a wall, but it wasn't. So in the winter, the mornings were a bit cold. Not to mention we didn't really put the heater because we had to pay for it, and we were all broke basically. And also, it wasn't working properly. It was just yeah, anyway. So yeah, and I paid more than 400 a month for this. So you might think, yeah, can't you find something better, whatever? Yeah, but you have to pay more, and I can't afford more. So like, if you pay, I would say in London, if you pay 800 or 1,000 a month, you can have something good, but either really small, like a really small studio, or just a room in a shared house, and probably not in the center, like not completely outside London, but yeah, I wasn't in the center, and like I was really in the south. I'm rambling a lot and telling a full story and stuff, but what I mean is that London is overrated in the sense that um, everyone is too busy with work because they need to pay the rent, which is expensive. So they are either out of time or out of money or out of both often. So everyone goes to London thinking, oh, so many opportunities, so many people, but in the end, not really. Everyone is just too busy for anything. So yes, of course, things happen. People are able to create, to do music and stuff, but that doesn't mean that they live in great conditions, or I don't know. I don't know how some people are able to afford some like super fancy accommodation and play music at the same time. Good for them, but So basically, after seeing that, living that, and talking with other people who lived the same sort of situations, I thought, well, maybe it's better to actually think about my first needs first, so like housing, food, and basic needs being met. So being able to live in a decent place where I have time to work and time to do music at the same time, and I live in a place that's decent and not too expensive, and so I can still keep some money if I want to be able to travel, to meet other people, to even go to London if I want to, but actually have like the basic needs that are met. So that's why I left. After living in London, like when you're in London, sometimes you're thinking, oh, I can go to that place. It's still in the same city, so it doesn't matter. Yes, of course, I can cross the city to go there. But it's actually going to take you 1 hour 30 or something. So after saying that, I'm like, yeah, I could do actually the same when I'm in Liverpool, you know? Like now, it doesn't seem too impressive to take a bus to go, for example, to Manchester to meet people, to play with other musicians. Because in the end, even though it's a different city, but it doesn't take me more time than if I was in London and I needed to cross the city to play with other musicians. So that's a different perspective I think I have now on this. So that was a lot of rambling and stuff. But basically, I would say that I left London so that my first needs could be met at a decent price, and also because being busy and stressed doesn't always mean being productive and doing the things that you want, reaching your goals. So yeah, I'm back in Liverpool.